why is my plant so long and thin? Why their leaves are so far apart, right? They shouldn't be growing this way. And yes, this is a very, very common problem that are faced by many gardeners, right, including myself. So sometimes we do have plants, they just grow very long and very ugly, right? And they somehow don't really look like those beautiful plants that others have, right? Other people show us their plants, oh, it's short and stout, so nice, but ours one are so long and tall, right? So why does this happen? So many gardeners say, oh, it may be because of not enough nutrients, right? So you need to give more fertilizers, you need to try these fertilizers and that fertilizer so it'll grow better for you. And some people, they will just say they are not receiving enough water, so you need to water them more frequently, every day, right? More times every day. And you get this random advice from different gardeners, right? And it is just very confusing, right? For a beginner, it is very, very confusing, right? So even if you try out their solutions, right, you go and get this fertilizer, you can water more, it doesn't really solve your problem. So you see, most of the time, gardeners tend to use their experience, right? You use their experience to solve their problems, right? Solve your problems, right? Because experience is very unique to them. And being unique to them, each of them have their own solution. And 99% of the time, it doesn't work for you, right? It doesn't work for anybody else, right? Because it's very uniquely based on experience. So there is just no consistent solution. And hence, that gives people the impression that gardening is something very hard, right? Something that you need natural talent to be able to grow plants well, right? That's the problem. So I approach gardening in a very different way, a totally different way. So instead, just relying on experience, which is highly unreliable, right? So I really want to just focus on the problem. I will deal with the problem with the information and knowledge, right? So these two, right? So it's very information and knowledge based driven. Because only by this way, you and everyone else can replicate the solution and and use the solution, implement the solution effectively to fix the issue. So this is how gardening should be, right? It should be simple, logical, very straightforward. So let's go back to a problem, right? Those long and thin plants, this is a case that I call stretch leaves, right? So instead of growing more leaves, right, these plants tend to space out their leaf very far apart, right? And to understand the problem, right, we need to understand. We need to go and find out why did they grow this way, right? Why do they do that? So plants that grow longer stem is really because they are trying to reach further spots, right, away from their pots, away from their ground, right? Hopefully to find a good spot where they can then grow their leaves, right? Where they have better chance of making more food, right? So they are in fact reaching out for more sunlight or brighter spots so that their leaves can generate enough food, right? Have enough light to generate the food for them. So that's the issue, right? Is lack of sunlight, right? Not other things, right? So you can easily prove this, right? So you can look at other plants that are growing in brighter spots, or you Google online, you look at how the other plants are doing, right? Are they in the more sunny spots, right? Do they have the long stems and stretched leaves? Right, probably not. So really, to solve this issue, you have to shift your plants to a better spot with more sunlight, a brighter place. So when you do that, you will see that there will be more leaves growing, right? There will be more compact, is more dense, right? They look a little bit more like the expected plant. So you may also want to, after you've seen some growth and you see, oh, it's doing well, right? You may want to trim away. But you need to trim away some of these long stems, right? So that you have a nicer looking plant, right? That's only after you observe their new and faster growth, right? And that you already have fixed the issue. So can you see the reasoning behind it? Right? It's more about understanding the issue, right? Reassessing the growing condition, right? We use the growing conditions as our guideline to find out the problem and then effectively solve the problem. So that is the knowledge-based approach to gardening, and it makes gardening a lot more interesting and a lot more enjoyable, right? Less stress, less frustration. So let me show you a few examples of these stretch leaf problems, right? So that you can actually spot these problems easily yourself. So look at this photo. Here's a pot of African violets grown under low light. right? So can you see the leaves are longer, right? You see the leaves are long and a lot more spaced out, right? So compare this with a healthy plant, right? This plant is grown in ideal growing condition, right? The leaves are a lot more closer to one another, and it's being arranged in a very nice rosette, right? So that is healthy plant. So here's another example, right? This is my pot of oregano many years ago. Right? Can you see that it doesn't even look like oregano? Right? The stems are so long and stringy, and I almost throw it away. So, and it's supposed to look like this, right? This is the healthy oregano, right? The leaves are all close together, right? It's a tight bush, right? It looks like a bush, not like noodles. So that is the problem, right? Low light. So the next time you spot very spaced out leaves, and you don't expect them to grow that way, right? It is most likely due to lack of light, right? Because of light issues. And you know exactly what to do, right? When you have light issues. So can you see that, using this approach, right, with new knowledge, with a knowledge-based approach, with information-driven, right, you are a lot more capable to do better gardening, right? See, experience don't matter anymore, right? That's what real gardening is. Simple and enjoyable, right? No more stress, no more frustration. So this is why I created the grow method, right? If you want to learn more about my approach to gardening, right, make sure you click in the link in the description below, right? And download my ebook, right? It's for free, right? You can read up. I put everything together about the grow method. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, click on the subscribe button below so that so that you can see me in action, right? How I use the grow method on different kind of plants. And at the same time, I share a lot more gardening tips in all these other videos, right? So until next time, enjoy your gardening, and I will see you in the next video.